Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a disassembly and maintenance video for you on this little guy right here. This is going to be the Grimsmo Knives Rask. So I've gone ahead and I put it in the case here, and now we'll go on ahead and we'll take it apart. But actually, in the name of full disclosure, I've been carrying this guy for a little while, actually. I just haven't gotten around to filming the disassembly, but I wanted to show off the case it comes in because the case it comes with also includes the tools you need to maintain it. Right on the back here, which is kind of a neat little trick, right? Just a little weird, right? But it includes a thing of nano oil 10 weight, which is a much smaller bottle, which will, get any Rask owner through pretty much a lifetime, as well as a T9 Torx bit here, which is a nice thing for them to include. So I'm just going to use these two tools. Actually, that's not strictly speaking true. I'm going to use some other stuff that include, like for cleaning and things like that. But these are really the only things you need to do that's above and beyond the ordinary in order to disassemble and maintain this. So let's go ahead and do that. What I need to remove right here are 3 screws. This guy, and this guy. Right, so I'll go ahead and I'll use my little T9 here, and I'll go ahead and I'll remove one of the back screws here first. And that was nice and easy. No problems. You can see here we got bronzed screws, so to speak. And let's go ahead and pop you loose as well. Good bit, good bite to it. There's that. Then should just be able to remove the pivot here. And again, pop this loose. This feels like it's got some thread locker on there. It's taking a little bit more doing to get out of there, but that's no harm. All right. And should be able to, come on now. There we go. I'm not going to lie, I definitely do prefer using my more conventional screwdriver bits. But, this works just fine, right? It's fine, and if you're not doing this a bunch, yeah, this will work for the once every 6 months, year, 2 years, whatever you do this. And we'll go ahead and take it apart and figure out what's going on here. So, okay, to start with, what we have ourselves here is a Grimsmo Rask. And holy crap, they've done a lot of internal milling on this. This doesn't surprise me particularly. The Grimsmos are, they're a little extra in terms of machining, but we see here that there has been a lot of material removed, and that explains how this is so damn lightweight. There's also a lot of engraving, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit here and try and show off what we've got here. This says November 23rd, 2022, and it looks like this was made at 4 a.m. So that, yeah, so they have videos that they post regularly, although not as often as they used to, unfortunately, but of showing their process, and they are running lights out a lot now, using their big fancy mills. And so that's kind of a cool thing, right? I can tell what time this knife was made. Over here we have, Rask, proudly made in, there we go, proudly made in Canada, Rask, November 2022. Is the time of the two scales different? No, it does not look like it is. All right. Which is not physically possible, but you know what? I'm willing to allow some rounding errors. That's maybe the start of the subroutine or something like that. We also see AEBL, which is a steel type on the lock bar insert, as well as the Grimsmo, little Grimsmo dude. We see their general screws here on the side. We see matching anodization of the screws, even on the internal parts. Those don't matter, or that doesn't matter except aesthetically, but it's kind of cool to see it done aesthetically. So that's cool. And then on the back of the blade here, we see Rask 1531 RWL34, which is the steel that this guy is in. So let's go ahead and get this guy cleaned up. This, in practice, isn't so dirty, right? This is pretty, straightforward. It has gotten some carry, but not nearly enough to get it really, truly gunky, at least with my pattern of daily usage. We also see, by the way, that these bearings are bespoke. If we look carefully at them, you're going to see, can I get the light right? Yeah, there you go. It says Grimsmo on the bearing races themselves, because the Grimsmos make their own bearing cages. At this point, please don't hold me to this, but my understanding is that the only thing that the Grimsmos are not making these days are the bearings themselves. And obviously they're not like forging the titanium, etc. But still, this is, in the watch world we talk about an in-house movement, right? This is an in-house knife in a lot of ways. The Grimsmos are trying to do as much as they can in their own shop, to their own standards, and that's kind of a beautiful thing. One thing that is missing here, and is kind of notable relative to a lot of other knives out there in the world, is that this is using the bearings. Well then, the bearings are running directly on the titanium there. That's not necessarily amazing. It's not the end of the world either, but this is one of the relatively few areas that some would consider to be a cut corner. Wow, lots of sirens. Hope everyone's okay out there. But all right, we are actually pretty much cleaned up and good to go here. But yeah, so a lot of folks would run a steel washer underneath there. I don't necessarily view it as a crucial thing, but it is one of those quality of life things, and especially when you get to a very high price point, it's one of those things that you might consider doing. So I'm going to go ahead and just drop this on there, and I'm going to put a little bit of lubrication onto the balls themselves there, such that when they roll around, they will lubricate the path. Also going to put a little lube onto the pivot itself here. And there's that. What we see here, are we missing a piece? No, we're not, because the two stop pins have migrated to different places. These knives actually have two different stop pins, which is worth noting here. Let me zoom out for you real quick. But these knives have two different stop pins, which means effectively that one of those stop... Can I transfer both of these to the other side, or is that kind of fixed? The big one doesn't want to move, but basically what that means is that there is one stop pin that stops it when it is open, and the other one stops it when it is closed. And this allows them to be a little bit more careful and to really control the tolerances of those pins to really make sure the knife locks up exactly how they want it to. That's a nice thing. Is it a crucial thing? No, absolutely not. But it is a nice one. And so that's kind of cool, right? The two stop pin approach isn't like, oh my God, why isn't everybody doing it? But it's cool. And it works pretty well. They've done it for a long time. Right, so there's that. I'm also going to put a little lubrication onto the detent pole there, as well as you saw me put some onto the blade itself where the bearings go. And so I'll just put that on there and then rotate, 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 rotate. And then we'll go ahead and put everything back together here. So my goal here is going to be to get those two detent posts in place, to get the back spacer snapped. Did it just... Okay, yeah, it just snapped right together. That's good. No argument there. All right. This is a very, very fine threaded screw. Maybe that's what I was picking up on. All right. Can't argue with that, I suppose. I'm going to use a little bit of thread locker right here, just to kind of make sure that everything stays adjusted the way I want it to. And just twist that in very gently, just to get that into position here. There we go. Feels like there is a hair inside of the action, but that will lose very quickly to hardened metal. So, that's that. I have balled it into this knife. All right, let's go ahead and put that back into here. And then one more here, and we are pretty much done. It'll just be from there a matter of adjusting everything to my taste, and then we should be good to go. And twisty, twisty. There's that. There's that. All right. Feels a little tight. Maybe not. No, that was just distributing it across the detent ball path. The lubrication, that is. There we go. Now that I've got that, whatever that was, gone away. Tighten a little bit further. Zero play. Whew. That's a crispy detent. Yeah, that's really nice. That's really nice. Okay. Yeah, can't argue with that whatsoever. So the action on this is now great. There's no no arguing with that action, 100%. So that's good. The other thing I want to do real quick while I've got it here, and the one downside, one regret I have about this purchase is it has an anodization on here, and it's beautiful. It looks great, but the problem is it's very sensitive to oils from your hands and whatnot. So in effect, what I have to end up doing very often is cleaning the knife. So I'm going to use a little bit of eyeglass cleaner, actually, that I found works very, very well for this. And then I'll just go on ahead and come over here and clean this off. And what you're going to see here is that this unlocks the full radiant color potential of the knife, especially as it dries off a little bit here. And I'll go ahead and get the other side of it, too, with that cleaner. Still on the cloth. And once that happens, yeah, you really see that color. Unfortunately, putting your fingerprints on it does make that fade a little bit, but at the same time, it's only a, yeah, see, a little bit right there already. But at the same time, it's still, it's a pretty finish. It's a very well-made knife. This is unquestionably beautifully done. The grind on this is ridiculously good. Yeah. So anyways, there's your disassembly. Going ahead and give this guy some more carry, and we'll answer whether it's worth the money, but at the very least, it's very, very easy to take apart. So there you go. Hope this has been interesting to you. Have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.